Thank you, Rev Stephen. I have been blessed to grow up in the Bite, the Hebrew Institute of Riverdale, where the question, "Am I my brother's keeper?" was always answered with a resounding yes, where prayer was not only about reaching upward to God, but also about reaching outward, horizontally, in connection to our fellow human. Two driving forces inspire me in my chaplaincy work. The first is the idea that every human being is created in God's image, B'Tselem Elohim. This allows me to cross the thresholds of every patient's room, knowing that I am about to encounter a glimpse of the divine, even in some of the darkest moments. Visiting people in the hospital who are at their most vulnerable, who can feel like they've lost their humanity, in their hospital gowns, poked and prodded, they have often lost a sense of who they are. It is my sacred job to help them remember that they too are created in God's image, to uphold their dignity and allow them to feel the divine within. The other force that drives me comes from the story in Breshit when God tells Yaakov, before he and his family go down to Egypt, "I will go down with you. Anochi ered imcha mitzrayma." The idea that God will descend with us, with the Jewish people, with each individual into the depths, into the darkest, most painful places. This idea of being with people in their struggles and making sure they know they're not alone is the other idea that drives me in my work. This year has been one that has turned our world upside down, but has also been one in which the true spirit of humankind has shown its resilient strength. Having the privilege of working in New York Presbyterian Columbia, the hospital that quickly became the epicenter of the COVID during the height of the pandemic, I was witness to some of these concepts. FaceTiming families who could say their last goodbyes to their loved ones while a nurse was holding the phone to their patient's ears. Beautiful portraits that were created of the qualities of the patients, drawn and hung above their beds after speaking with those who know them best. Nurses and doctors who try their best to make sure that patients did not die alone. As some of you may know, the morgue at the hospital got filled pretty quickly during the height of the pandemic, and the refrigerated trucks had to be brought in to sit parked outside the hospital as a temporary morgue to hold many of those unclaimed bodies. As part of the spiritual care department, a colleague and I went to stand outside with the trucks, the two of us, while they were moving bodies from one truck to the other trucks to be taken elsewhere. We stood there, watching as the bodies were moved, gently, delicately, placing them side by side. And we sent them off in prayers and singing. I remember singing Ki Malachav, may God command his angels to safeguard them in their final journey on this earth, and thinking how we were attempting, in some small way, to uphold their sense of dignity, these unclaimed, precious souls created in God's image. It is this work that the Hebrew Free Burial Association does on a continual basis. It is chesed shalamet in the deepest meaning of that term. The Hebrew Free Burial Association arranges for those bodies, those people who might be sent elsewhere, and affords them the dignity of a proper burial with prayers and the kavod that every human soul deserves. The Hebrew Free Burial hears the question, "Am I my brother's keeper?" and answers it daily with a powerful yes. It is an organization dedicated to the sacred work on a daily basis.